Chris, can you give us an overview of the song Taken It All, which will be on the first album for the band, This Is Love?
A lot of the songs, and I've mentioned this before, is that they have multiple meanings. This has one very clear and direct message, and it is specifically speaking to and against abuse, abuse of any kind, mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, it doesn't matter. And it's speaking very directly to how destructive it is, and how much it's not just destructive at the moment, it is destructive for a lifetime. And even if we are like, okay, we say we're sorry and whatnot, that the damage is done. You've broken the glass, and it's so important for all of us to know and appreciate, I think, that point. And I wrote this because I was very angry, and the musical part gets almost dark. I don't know if that's the best wording of it, but you can definitely, the instrumental tells a very significant story. This song developed, I would say, over 3 or 4 years. The initial was probably written in a year or two. But a lot of refinement after that. I mentioned in other videos that I used to record and play back on the cassette and whatnot. And, all the individual notes, note by note by note, was very specifically chosen to be able to strike a very specific chord, no pun intended. So it starts off talking about this individual and how they have a life and meaning and potential, and all these good things that are wrapped around them. And then all of a sudden, a situation occurs and they are taken down to nothing. It speaks to specifically about society, society not taking this close enough. And if you think about, I think it's even more true today, because you see things on social media. Like we all grew up in situations where kids get beat up at school, or whatever those situations were. But now it's 1,000 times worse, because now we have public shaming, and it doesn't speak well to us to see that is something that we're willing and capable of doing, such as public shaming on social media. We make ourselves feel a little bit better by making somebody else feel worse. We feel some kind of satisfaction from that. And so this song today, has, even to me, more meaning than when I wrote it way back then, long before the internet ever existed. The instrumental work, it's mostly instrumental. This is not a short song. It really does define this individual being taken down, destroyed, and then having to pick themselves back up again, and to be able to fight the way back up, and how difficult that fight is to come back, and only to get knocked down again. So it's a very meaningful song to me.
So I have just a couple of questions here for you about the song. The line you sing, "Did you ever think to share?" What's that about?
Well, if we think of abuse as being like a thief, right? Because you are taking something away from someone that does not belong to you. If you, and it doesn't have to be just actual abuse. When we speak poorly to someone, we're taking something away from them, from that day, from that moment, from their life, from their level of confidence. When you treat someone nicely or treat someone well, they repeat it. They carry it forward, and the next person that they run into, they're a little bit happier when they see them. They're in a better mood, and they speak a little bit more caring. It's contagious. The opposite is also true. when we don't speak to people well. The next time that person sees somebody, they're a little bit colder. So this speaks specifically to, did you ever think to share, and to be able to give? And it doesn't cost us anything to do that.
What about the line where you sing, "We tend to figure you'll know what we mean"?
So what this references is that the importance of sharing your true feelings. When we know somebody and we don't take the time to tell them that they mean something to us, that we love them, we like them, or we appreciate them. It could be at any level. It doesn't have to be a personal relationship. It could be coworker, right? Is that we assume perhaps that we don't need to do those things, that we don't need to express ourselves or express our appreciation, but just how important that is and how much positive change it makes. We all want to do good in the world, so I like to think that, and it doesn't have to be something significant, especially when you're in those darker places. You don't feel like you have anything to be able to give, but in all honesty, you have a lot to give. Speaking to someone kindly, open the door and hold it for somebody walking into the coffee shop. Just a caring smile or a thank you makes a world of difference in that individual. It's contagious and it spreads like wildfire.
And one last question. What do you mean by the line, "That's how we hide what we mean"?
Yeah, so it's referencing that someone has spoken poorly or acted poorly, and it hides what the true meaning of that person is, because we tend to be very sorry afterwards, and we apologize and things like that, or at least we feel sorry. Maybe we don't act on that, but we feel that way. And I don't think that any of us, hopefully, have negative intentions. And sometimes it's just caught at the wrong moment, right? And so it doesn't express that moment, doesn't express what we truly feel. It doesn't express, our true intentions. It's just that's how it's hidden.
Chris, thanks very much for giving us an overview of the song "Taking It All" on the upcoming album, This Is Love, Volume 1.
Thank you, Mark.
Did you ever think to share? Did you ever think to give?